Welcome to another vlog, and if you've watched the tutorial that I put up, the how-to on how to put a scuba board into a container, the 4-part vlog, you guys have way too much time on your hands, and I do want to thank you for watching it. I think it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it, but anyway, wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an update and on what's going on. We've been doing this year vlogs about anywhere from every 2 weeks to once a month. Some of the projects have been very detailed, and they've taken a lot of time, especially all the foam carving. Now I have one other major project I had planned on doing this season, and that was the walkthrough mausoleum. I was going to get rid of the old one and do a walkthrough. It ain't going to happen. I don't have the time. I've got 3.5 days a week right now with my work, because I work out of town, to actually be at home working on props. That project is about a 2-month-long project, and I've got exactly 3 weeks left before we start setting up the hunt. So I have no time to do the mausoleum this year. That's going to be on the slate for next year. With that being said, I've got a crap ton of smaller projects to do. Good news with that is I'm going to be going to weekly vlogs from now until October 28th. So every week you're going to be getting a vlog from me. Hopefully they won't be too long. I'm going to try to keep them about 20 minutes. But you're going to see all sorts of stuff with the vlogs. As many of you remember, this is the fountain from my old water wall last year. I went and redid the fountain. We're going to be hooking up the new fountain back up to the tent. We're going to give it another test. That's going to be one of our projects. I'll explain more about that when I get into doing that. We've got the pillars here. I need to get their eye hooks and stuff on to get them set up so we can use them for the queue line. I've got the pneumatic spider over here. We got to get the air hoses on there and the water spitter and the brain box and get that up and running. And then we went down to Harbor Freight over Labor Day. We picked up a bunch of new air hosing to go with some of the air hosing I already had, because we're adding several new pneumatics. We're going to have some rat tails. We've got the spider prop over there that's going to have a spitter on it. And I've got a pirate prop, which is the framework still in the build process. So we've got that to do. See what else. Oh, my power supply is getting a new, my power station downstairs is getting a new power supply in it. We'll cover that. And I'm also making up some new LED lighting. And they're going to be going out here on the driveway in between the arborvitaes to shine up into the arborvitaes. But it's a new style of floods. And if the project turns out good, it might be something I'll start selling. I'm not sure. But we've got a lot of little projects now that I'll be covering over the next 3 weeks. So one vlog you might get 2 or 3 projects. The next vlog you might just get 1 project, depending on how elaborate and how involved I get on things. With that being said, we were over at Hellmouths, aka Troy's, last Saturday, the 5th. I've got some footage, a little bit of vlog footage of that on my cell phone. I'm going to be attaching it to the end of this vlog and hopefully get this vlog up tomorrow night or first thing Monday. So you're going to see it. It's going to be about a week late. Troy's already taken some footage and had it in his daily vlog. So you guys already know I was over there roasting marshmallows around the campfire and watching him pork out. We got that. And then a vlog update for you. Monday, September 28th, we will be officially switching over into daily vlog mode. In other words, you're going to be getting a vlog from me every day, all the way up until my haunt opens. The reason being is the 28th, the tents start going up in the front yard and we start setting the haunt up. So you guys are going to go along for the ride. I'm not sure which format I'm going to be using. I might do a mix this year. And the reason why I'm saying format mix is originally when I started doing the setup, I put my trusty camera here in the tripod and I just let it run all day. So you had a lot of fast forward footage to watch of me actually putting the panels up, putting the tents up, setting the displays up, and doing the wiring. And then the last couple of years, I've just been doing little snippets. You know, I do all the work, turn on the, hey, this is what I've gotten done, you know, and why I did it and what have you. So you're probably going to be getting a mix this year, or I might go old style. Just a word of warning, I don't know. But we'll also, I think it's going to be October 1st, on our Haunted Tents page here on Facebook, we are going to have the dates, times, and hours set as well. So you know, you'll know when to come and have some fun. But with that, let's get started. I got a couple of little things I need to do. We'll get that going, and we'll get into the first project. Okay, first prop for this vlog. And we're testing the water pipe again, the water fountain, and it's dusty. Been sitting in the shop. Now the problem I was having with it, originally when I built this, I had these little nipple misters pretty solid all the way down here, and we were getting a dripping effect, and I wanted more of a fan effect. So I took out the misters, some of the misters, and only left a few in, all the way down the length of the pipe. Rehooked it back up to the pump I had, and it was coming out more of a stream. Basically, the pump I had on here that I've been using for years moves about 650 gallons of water per hour. It just wasn't putting out the pressure enough to get these things to do a fan arc out into the pond like I wanted. So I went shopping. Harbor Freight had a pump you use in ponds for doing waterfalls. It moves about 2,400, 2,500 gallons of water per hour. So about 3 times stronger than the little pumps I had, and that's it right there. And with that thing, as much water as that thing moves, it should get this thing to do what I want it to do. Problem, and it may be a little comical, we may end up with a blowout. All the caps on the end of the pipes are held together with a marine adhesive style caulking. Same thing with the misters. Okay, and when I plug the holes, I just put some of that caulking in each of the holes to plug the holes. I'm thinking with the diameter pipe, you know, on the fountain and the diameter of the hose, I'm going to get some serious pressure built up in there. So we might have some fun. We might have an explosion out here. I don't know. Worst thing that's going to happen is the end caps are going to fly off and the heads are going to start popping off, and I can reglue those back in. But I'm going to give it a shot this way, and if it is too much pressure, I'll end up recocking it all back together, and I'll put the missing heads in and stuff, and I'll help relieve some of the pressure, I'm hoping. But we're going to give this thing a try. I got to get a hose out and an electrical cord yet so I can get that thing plugged in. And we're going to see what that pump will do with that fountain. Okay, we got the fountain hooked up to its hose, to the pump. We got water in the container, which is overflowing. Let's see what happens when we plug it in. And I know you just went wonky. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm getting my misting effect that I wanted. But now I gotta get a better hose connection on the back. It's leaking back there. But the fountain is doing exactly what I wanted it to do. Okay, we've got it figured out. We've been playing with it. I've been removing some of the misters off the front, and it was creating an arc of steam or a stream of water coming out. But when I did that, the mister stopped working. Not enough pressure for the misters to work. Wife and I were both talking. We like the misters because you got to remember, this goes on my water wall. I got that huge yellow fan blade in the back that's going to be turning. I've got that red tablet die which I did check, it does make the water glow. Thank you, Diablo. You know, it's going to be in there, and it's going to be in black light, so it should be a really interesting effect. So we're going to go with it this way. I need to get in, though, and get the new heads glued in. One problem that we did have, and I'm going to have to correct, is I split the T on the back where the hose hooks up. So I'm going to have to reinforce that, recaulk that, and stuff, and I can't do that until it's dry. So we're going to be, I'm going to unplug this, let it sit and dry, and then we can get things glued up, what have you, and it's ready for the hunt. So this project, other than the gluing, a little bit gluing up in that one patch, is done. I told you there was going to be a lot of little quickie type things going on. That we started doing was on the hosing. I had to get the fittings on the end of it. Ran into a problem. I did a screw up. These are my two 25-foot rolls. Fittings on the end were the right size. I had two 50-foots and a 100-foot sitting here though too. I ended up picking up the 3/8 inch size, which is way too big of a diameter. It was the wrong size hose. So I've got to take those back down to Harbor Freight tomorrow and either do an exchange or a refund on them to get the right hosing. Then I can bring those home and get the fittings on those, and all the hoses will be ready to go. I'm sticking with the pneumatic theme though, and I've got two tanks. This is my old air compressor. I took all the fittings and stuff off of it. I've got to convert it over to be a storage tank. Also, I have a another one I bought last year and used it. I never put a shut-off valve on it. You know, so I can hit the off valve, unhook the hose, and the tank doesn't drain. So I've got to get it out and get the valve on, and I've got to build that one, and I've got all my miscellaneous parts there to do it. Hopefully. I am missing a water strainer, this piece here, and I'll pick that up next week to go onto that tank, and that's something that's real simple and easy to do. So other than that, I think we're going to get working on the tanks. We got another project done. I got the shut-off valve on there, and I've got this converted over. This is the storage tank off my old 10-gallon air compressor. So I now have an 11-gallon storage tank, a 10-gallon storage tank, and that's a 30-gallon tank on the compressor itself. So we got about 50 pounds or 50 gallons worth of air stored. Now I've got it hooked up to the air. I got the tank fully charged, and if I move that toggle that way, when I unhook this, nothing's coming out. Now on this one, on the air compressor, the air came out the tank here through the regulator and out the hose. The air went into the tank here, and I needed some way of plugging it, so I bought a reducer for it and then just put an emergency evac thing there. Really don't need it, but makes a good plug. But as you can tell, it was fully charged. Now when I turn this nozzle, it's letting the air out, saying I ain't got no leaks, so it's working good. Now, while I've got all my fittings and stuff out here, we are going to stick to the pneumatic or air-driven projects right now. We're going to get that wired, plus I've got to get all the solenoids and stuff, which I have in the house, out here. We're going to get all those set up. And let's see if we can get the air stuff done today. Well, we're actually making some progress today, which is surprising. We got the two hoses I bought that were correct, their fittings are on. We got the fountain there, tested, it's been drying. I'm going to come back through here next and start gluing the tabs on and back on and what have you. Then we got started doing air stuff, and I went through all my solenoids, got all the fittings and stuff on them, got them wired, and these three here are going to the Pirate Mech that my friend's still building. It's a version of this one. And then we've got 4 single action, two-way solenoids here. These are going to be going in my corn hull, and we're going to be attaching air whips, so I'll be down inside the corn. So when they go off, I'm hoping they'll make a rattling noise. We went from there to working on the mech itself, and I've got it in its fully extended stage right now. And I've got the 5-way solenoid on here. That's to control this cylinder. And then I've got a 2-way here. You notice I have a hose here kind of loose. That is going up here for a water mister. I'm going to attempt to make a water mister. I was hesitating. I had no idea how close this T should be up here, or should I have it clear down here by the solenoid. I wasn't sure. So it's going to be kind of a trial and error thing, and I've got plenty of this hosing to play with. It's all wired up, ready to go. I can't fire it though. I don't have my regulator. I need 2 regulators, one for each solenoid, so I can adjust the air pressure and stuff on the thing, and I want to start out low. Yes, I could just use the regulator on my air compressor over there, you know, and just do one at a time. I don't want to do that. I want to have everything hooked up and all the parts together. So I'll be going down probably Monday and picking up some regulators that have the water collection thing on them, and they'll get snapped onto here, and then we'll be able to test this on Monday. My wife made a burlap covering to hide the whole mechanism, and we've got the spider that goes up on top, so we have all the parts. We just need those regulators, and we'll get that next week. So that is officially done for now. Okay, welcome to Thursday, folks. And we're getting kind of a late start out here in the shop. But as you saw yesterday, we got quite a few small projects knocked out. Today has been pretty much kind of the same thing. I wanted to go back and touch on the Scuba Boo boards. Last vlog series was a how-to on how to put them in the watertight container. When I finished that vlog, all I had left to do was basically get the sound on the SD cards, you know, and get those installed. Went through Monday, spent all day on the computer, got all my sound files, the SD cards on, or not on, but figured out. And last night got them on, all the SD cards but one. One of the SD cards for one of the boards is bad, so I gotta buy a new SD card. That's a 10-second project, you know, once I get home to get the music on, get back installed. And I had a board from last week, or not last week, but last year, that was acting really weird. Tim Thompson, aka Scuba Spook 1 on YouTube, was gracious enough to do a customer service vid call with me. We went through and tested out the board. Ended up being a bad chip. And the chips in these boards do not go bad all that often. It's pretty rare. So he's mailing me a new chip. That's supposed to be in sometime next week. That's a 10-second fix. And then the boards will be done, ready for the hunt. So we got that project done. Also had errands today, and if you remember right, I was getting the fittings on the air hoses, and I mentioned my 100-foot, my 250-foot hoses I bought. I bought the wrong sizes. Well, we got those taken back. I got the correct sizes that I needed. It was basically the nipple. I bought a half-inch nipple instead of 3/8, which means all my fittings didn't fit the hoses. Well, I got those returned, got the correct hoses. That project's done. I just got done getting the nipples on them, so all my hosing and stuff for the hunt's ready. Now we're getting ready to start working on these guys. These were new this year at Costco, and I got them turned backwards because I was looking at something. But it's a stack of 4 skulls. The eyes come on. There's some audio with it. They run off of batteries. And I bought 7 of them for the front of my hunt to help keep people off the street. And that was a request by the police department. They were afraid someone was going to get hit, especially on Halloween night with the crowds that we get. So we started doing a queue line. And I basically have some wood stanchions that I made for my produce stand eons ago. You know, that we put out string rope through them, and it helped direct the flow of traffic coming into the haunt. You know, to get in the haunt, the people actually had to get off onto the sidewalk and go through our little stanchion fence. Well, those things are starting to rot out. They were flimsy. They were easy to move. and everything else, and people were messing with them. So I wanted to replace them, go to a more Halloween theme. So I bought these to act as my stanchions. Problem is I need to string rope from one pillar to the next pillar and stuff to connect them. And I had two choices. One, I could just loop the rope around the skull and tie it, which would look tacky as all hell. Or I could figure out some way of attaching a clip, to the side of the skull, and just string the rope, from pillar to pillar that way, which would look a lot more professional, a lot more neater. So that's what we're going to do. And I've gone down over the last week, bought all my parts, even got the rope. What we're going to end up doing is I got a whole box of various parts here. Is I've got an eye bolt, and we are going to be attaching one on either side of the top skull, and then down here on the second skull, so we can string rope between the pillars. And I've got to get these attached. Now, these are all hollow resin. They're not solid, they're hollow. So the process is I've got to drill a hole and then figure out some way of attaching these, because there's no way to get inside, so I can't use the bolt. Oh, we've come quite a ways. I went through all the pillars, like I showed you in the last vlog, and got their holes drilled out. And I've been working on assembling the eye hooks. I got one pillar done. I got an eye hook on this side, two of them, for my rope attached to. And there's another one over here, or another two on this side. And they're in there nice and tight, so people aren't going to be able to unscrew them, but they do turn fairly easy as needed. Now these pillars, they are hollow, but there's no way to get inside, to make linkages and stuff. I could take the battery box out if I wanted to, but still wouldn't give me access up here to where I need to make my attachments. So how I'm doing it is I'm using a piece of threaded rod, and then I have two nuts. They're called coupler nuts. They're extra long nuts. And I've threaded the nuts halfway onto the threaded rod. In other words, the threaded rod only goes halfway through. And then on the ends, I just attach an eye hook. And I cinch them down nice and tight, and they don't go nowhere. The fun part, though, is putting this in the hole and then trying to get the eye hook on the other side to match so you can screw it in. And that's pretty much where I'm at now. But this system seems to work really good, and once you cinch it down, they don't come loose very easy. Well, I got all the eye hooks in. Next stage is figuring out how I'm going to attach the rope, and I've already figured that out and stuff. You're not going to see it this vlog. Just about dinner time. It's almost 7. We're having a late dinner tonight. And we're on the road tomorrow with work. Now, I want to get this vlog edited and uploaded tonight. So I'm going to call it quits out here. And next week when we get back into town, we'll get the rope out, and I'll show you how I'm going to do the rope on the pillars. Now, the next footage you're going to see was taken last Saturday, September 5th. I got together with Hellmouths, and we went out to dinner, and then went over to Troy's place, had a bonfire, and Jim Erickson, another local hunter here in Washington State, joined us for that. And I got a couple of pieces of footage, and I'm going to edit that together and attach it to the end of this vlog. Would like to give a big shout out to Troy and say thank you for hosting the bonfires and the get-togethers and everything we've been doing. My wife and I have really been enjoying the break Saturday evening, getting to spend it with friends instead of trapped in a motel room. So Troy, thank you to you, buddy. And we'll leave it there. So next is going to be footage of the mighty Hellmouth and Jim Erickson. Okay guys, it's Saturday. We got done with our Saturday market, and we were going to get together with Troy, aka Hellmouth. We were supposed to meet him at 5. We were going to go out to dinner, socialize a little bit, and we left at 4 o'clock, an hour early, due to what I was thinking we were going to have trouble. They've got some heavy construction between where we're staying at and where Troy is. Got down there, no delay. We're here about a half hour early, and Troy has an errand he needs to do before we can go out to eat. So, but we surprise him. There he is. What the fuck is that?
Hi, nice to see you. That's a bag of bags.
You saying I'm
Cycle.
He's saying I'm an old bag.
Whoa. No. Okay, I'm not going there.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the other thing.
Hi.
Hi.
Camera high five. Oh, you're using your cell phone now?
I didn't bring my vlog camera with me. I had no intention of vlogging. I was going to be a vlog-free dinner for a change.
Wow.
So I'm using the phone instead.
Wow, I see how you are.
Yeah. This won't be up for a couple of days. So.
That's what she said.
Oh, I have no problem in that direction.
Oh, wow.
It's more like it's up too soon.
All right, anyway.
Sitting in the truck with my pretty lady. Troy just took off. He had a couple of errands he needed to go do at the last minute. So he's off doing that. So we're going to kind of sit here. And I'm going to state right now, so you guys know, this is happening on September 5th, Saturday, September 5th. And yes, I did check the date. So, so by the time you see this, it may be a week or two later. Troy is also vlogging it. So tomorrow, September 6th, you will see me in his vlog. Or will have seen me in his vlog time continuum again. So we are going to hang out here while Troy is doing his errands, and then we'll get you a little bit more footage later on, hopefully. After an eventful hour or so of BSing on Troy's stained couch.
Wow, that was too much information.
Actually, may not be enough, huh? We are taking him out to dinner. He hasn't been eating right. He's been so depressed and
I haven't been
under
eating
the weather.
Right. You see this? Oh, eating right.
Yeah.
I have been.
So we are taking him out to dinner at Old Country Buffet, Smorgasbord, where he can eat all he wants, and we aren't leaving until he gains 50 pounds. We've made it inside, and as you can see, Troy is eating rabbit food.
I love beets.
In other words, he's saying he likes to be beaten.
No.
You sure? Mm-hmm. And he actually chews with his mouth shut. I always wondered about the mighty Hellmouth. We got the wife over here eating a little bit here.
I can give you some seafood if you'd like to.
You want to see seafood, people? Seafood. Okay, we've gone through one plateful. We're all up here reloading. Let's see what Troy's getting. He's dishing up. Look how petite he's dishing up those potatoes. Just a little dollop of just the right amount of gravy. And it's put on in a certain way, too. You know, he's a very neat eater. Yeah?
You would never have guessed that, huh?
Yeah, he's so neat. Though you should see the grease underneath his fingernails.
Actually, they're pretty clean. I just haven't trimmed them.
Yeah, you see the hair on the back of your knuckles.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, you know what they say
Oh, what's that?
about hairy knuckles?
Never mind. Too much info again.
Or maybe not enough.
It's never enough. You know, don't you like this? We're both walking out with our arms out. You know, see, he's got his arms out. I'm mimicking him.
Hold on, I'm grabbing the flag this time. I want to do this right. Hold on. Hold on.
Troy, hold it. If you want to do it right, you got to do it like this.
You guys.
What are you doing? Now there's too many flags over here.
Oh, yeah,
There's
see,
flags
they're
over
watching.
there.
Oh, well.
Now nobody can cross the street going the other direction.
Okay, here. Now you got to go take him back and put him back in the right spot.
No, you do it.
Hey, it was your
Watch
idea.
out for the beat.
So he likes bright colors. Come on, you took it over. Anyway, you missed all that. I'm going to have a lot of editing on this clip, I know. Troy, we are going to have to follow you because I'm lost. I have no idea how to get back to your place. We're going to burn down this backyard. And you're not going to get continuous footage. Easy.
Sorry, you had me laughing too much.
But we're going to go over if my wife can hobble out to the car in one piece. She's
Fire!
lots of fire. We're going to burn down the backyard. I am recording Hellmouth, recording Jim Erickson.
Are you vlogging?
No, I don't have the camera on at all.
Oh, of course you lie.
I don't have my camera. I just got my phone out. I was checking to see if there was a hangout.
Right.
It's a Saturday night.
I like a rug.
Yeah. We've had our
Fly
dinner.
very well.
And we're, as you can tell, we're back over at Troy's.
No, we're not.
Enjoying another nice bonfire. And why is it coming out white on my cell phone instead of yellow?
Why is it always got to be a color, bro?
Yeah, well here, come take a look at that. Does that look, it looks like a white fire with a halo.
It's because of the white, the brightness, the auto brightness adjust and the auto contrast adjust and the.
Yeah, it just looks weird. I was expecting to see a yellow fire and I'm seeing white fire. God, you do have magical wood over here, don't you? And Jim brought his 2 10-year-olds and we're talking like drunken sailors in front of the kids. They're going to be stunted for life.
Not my kids. They've heard worse. Dad, I've twisted their minds enough.
But instead of turning around the camera, get my fingers in front of the lens so you can see my ugly puss saying what I'm about to say. Hellmouths, I love you.
Thank you.
But no, Troy and I and Jim are talking. We are going to do a road trip at various times. We need to go see Jim's haunt. Jim and Troy need to come see my haunt. And Troy has changed his mind. He was going to give up haunting this year.
I was not going.
But we are going to be coming over here and visiting Hellmouth on Halloween to see his magical bonfire.
If the audio is so good, because they probably can't hear me right now. Alrighty then. Wait. Yeah. These guys have been talking about building and stuff, and it kills me because I should be building right now. It really kills me.
Yeah.
You can't hear anything I'm saying right
I don't know. I can play it back here as soon as I turn it off.
now. Probably what's going to happen is because of the snap of the fire.
Yeah.
The audio, it kills the audio, and then you can't hear me at all.
Yeah, more than likely. But no, Troy and I and Jim were talking about them coming over and visiting the haunted tents maybe this year. And we were discussing dates and times and maybe taking them out on a wine tour and getting them sloshed before I run them through my haunted house. And they seem to be all for that. Now with that, I'm going to say see you next week. So stay spooky and stay toxic.